With the easing of UK lockdown restrictions, can photographic studios really reopen on the 15th of June? I'm Butterfield, and this is iansstudio. I want to do a quick video. First of all, let me apologise for the sound. I'm recording it on the microphone that's on the camera, which isn't a brilliant one, and the room is very echoey. The reason I'm not using my normal tight-clip mic is I'm going to have to move around a lot for this video, and you'll see that the reason for that in a short while. It was announced earlier this week by the Prime Minister that businesses, commercial premises could start opening for business and have customers in from the 15th of June. And that explicitly mentioned photographic studios, which is great news, or is it? Well, actually, I think for most people it is good news that they can start to get their businesses back on track. However, there are some very specific conditions on there, and it involves being, quote, COVID safe. Now, what does that mean? Well, it means a number of things. It means about cleaning everything, avoiding cross-contamination and things like that. But the main thing is we still have to do the social distancing thing. We have to keep that 2 meters apart. Now, the cleaning thing may not be easy, particularly with a studio like mine, where the entrance is that direction, the sink is that way. You've got to go through the entire studio to be able to wash your hands. But yeah, okay, we can work around things like that, but we can't work around a restriction of distance. So I want to find out whether it's really possible in a studio like mine to reopen. So I'm going to set up as though I was doing a shoot, and then with my trusty tape measure I'm going to mark out the 2 meter radius to show what sort of distance we have to observe in a studio like this. And mine's not the smallest of studios. It's not big by any means. It is only a small studio, but there are a lot smaller ones than mine. So let's just have a look what that actually means in practice. That's the grey paper set where I would normally put it, and rather helpfully I've already got a mark on the floor indicating where the model would normally stand. So I'm now going to get my tape measure and I'm going to mark out the 2 meter radius around where the model would be standing to shoot in the studio. Right, so that's a 2 meter exclusion zone around where the model would stand. Now that circle and exclusion zone in itself isn't too bad. Certainly the distance between the subject and where the photographer will stand is absolutely fine. Shouldn't really, most shots you don't want to be within 2 meters anyway, so that's not going to be an issue. Where I foresee in this studio a couple of problems is the line over there cuts across my walk area to get in and out. So if I was shooting with a person here, then every time I wanted to access effectively the rack over on that side or the door to get anything out of the office, I would have to ask the model to just back off. What's a little harder to manage is the fact that my lights would often be in this area over here. And the sort of lighting I have there, rim lighting, is very difficult to actually set unless you've got the model in position. And so I wouldn't actually be able to get to those lights to adjust them with the model in the position I need them in. So it's not a major issue, but it's something that I would have to be aware of if I was shooting with a model in here or a portrait subject. So it certainly looks like that's possible on the one-to-one, but let's just do the other side of it and put a marker where the photographer's going to stand and the exclusion zone that they need. Now, it's slightly different for the photographer. The photographer tends to move around when they shoot. So what I'm going to do to mark that area is I'm going to start with a line going from the limit of where they can get towards the model, going back, because sometimes you might want to be in close to shoot, other times you might want to come all the way back and be shooting from here. So let's mark that as a line on the ground. So with the line in place, I'm going to measure 2 meters out from it. So it won't be a circle going around this one, although it might be a little bit up in that area. I just complete the line up here. We'll have an area of exclusion for anybody else in the building. So having marked that, and I'm going to turn the camera around so you can see where the markings are. The problem I've got with that is 2 meters excludes everything this side of the studio. So nobody will be allowed in this area when somebody is shooting. The exclusion zone on the other side is about 2 inches away from the sofa, which means that yes, you'd be fine sitting on the sofa, but if you were to stand up, you would move into the exclusion zone for the photographer. My work desk over there is outside both the model and the photographer's exclusion zone, but only by a matter of inches, and again would not be possible to move out of that area without going into either of the exclusion zones. So to conclude, is it possible to open? Well, maybe, but it's not easy. I think for my studio, then the only way I could open would be for me and a subject, me and the model. And then it would have to be quite an understanding model who realised about social distancing and would be happy to keep out of the way as I move around. As regards to running any form of training event or group shoot here, I think I'm on a hiding to nothing until the social distancing regulations are moved out of the way. So, what do you think? Can you see, have I missed something here that I should have taken into account? I'd rather be overcautious on this one. I don't want to be the cause of somebody getting COVID-19 or the fact that I've opened up the doors too early. What about outside? Yes, I consider doing shoots outside. Again, strict social distancing would have to be in place. It's not easy, and in terms of training events, that would be tricky because I wouldn't be able to show people on the back of my camera easily what I've been shooting. Normally we form a huddle around the camera to show the setup. So a lot of problems to overcome. I think for me, realistically, I'm not actually going to be able to do much until social distancing becomes a thing of the past. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I hope this explains why perhaps not every photo studio will be able to open on the 15th of June when the government says that we can. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.